So today's video is going to be about distilled water and why you should drink distilled water, what drinking regular water does to you, like tap water, and just all the benefits of distilled water. So the main benefit of distilled water is that it's completely pure. It's what they call pure water. And the Earth's atmosphere actually makes distilled water on a regular basis. However, the water that the rain produces isn't necessarily good for you because our skies are so toxic now. So drinking rainwater wouldn't necessarily be equivalent to drinking distilled water from a distiller because of all the toxins and pollutants in the air. And there are ways to get rid of those toxins from rainwater, and rainwater would be great if you could filter it and kind of let the first 20-30 minutes of the rain clear the air out first and then drink the water after that. But anyway, today we're going to talk about distilled water and why you should get a distiller or a 0 parts per million pitcher. Those things produce 0 parts per million water as well. I'm not sure if they're as good as distilled water, but they should be a pretty cheap, good option instead of tap water or filtered water from in bottles. A lot of the bottled water like Dasani and any filtered water you find in the store has particulate in it still. If you test it with a parts per million reader, you will see that it's probably 100 parts per million or 200 parts per million. And with distilled water, it's 0 parts per million. So the reason why you want 0 parts per million water is because the water actually helps take toxic stuff out of you, like metals and just different, any type of toxic stuff that's in your digestive system or in your body. And distilled water is actually negatively charged, whereas most things that you don't want in your body, if not all things that you don't want in your body, are positively charged. So that negatively charged water grabs on and pulls the positively charged things like fluoride for one, inorganic minerals from your body that you don't want inside your body, and metals like mercury. It also doesn't have any of those things inside of it to pollute your body with. So regular tap water and even filtered water from the store has certain amounts of fluoride and other metals that you don't want in your body, like inorganic calcium, which you think it sounds good. Calcium's good for your bones, but inorganic minerals your body can't really use, and your body actually has to figure out a way to get rid of them. And a lot of times it actually stores them in joints and different areas of your body. And actually the pineal gland, in most people, that gland is heavily calcified, and that actually happens from fluoride as well. Fluoride goes right to your pineal gland, and it's really bad for your just intuition and just being a intelligent, sane human being. So it's very important to decalcify your pineal gland and not add any more calcium, inorganic minerals to your body that kind of sludge up your joints and are just not good for you. So the other thing that's in regular water that isn't in distilled water is chlorine. And interesting fact about chlorine is Hitler actually used that for the gas chambers. So chlorine is not good for you. It may sanitize the water, but it's really not good for you to drink. So when you're drinking tap water, a friend of mine actually had a water filtration company, and he did a test on a pool and our tap water, and the tap water actually had more chlorine than the pool did. So I was really surprised when I saw the results of that test, and that inspired me to look into filtering my water. And then a long time later, I actually came across distilled water and the importance of distilled water. It's also the best tasting water that I've ever had, and it's also the cheapest water in the stores because people aren't aware that it's actually the best water for you to drink. And most people think that it's just for devices like CPAP machines, but it's actually really good for humans like yourself to promote health. So I just want to go through a few of those awesome things about distilled water. And you can get, it's called a zero water pitcher. They sell those online. They used to have them in Target for like 20, 30, 40 bucks. And they have like a filter, but it's a lot better than just a carbon filter like a Brita or Pure Water. The 0 parts per million water that is produced by this zero water pitcher, you can actually test it. It used to come with an actual tester that you could test and see that it's actually 0 parts per million water. So that's a cheap option that's way better than any other solution, as opposed to or instead of getting a distiller. However, if you decide you really like distilled water like I do, I actually bought over $1,000 distiller for my family to have distilled water on tap. We actually have ice. Our ice is distilled as well, so that's optimal. But anyway, so the main reasons why you should get distilled water is that it doesn't have anything like chlorine, fluoride, pollutants in your water. And it's also, one other detail is that it has nothing in it. So it's got a really strong, it's also negatively charged. And so that means that it has the ability to pull as much things into it as possible. So when you have even 70 parts per million water, that extra stuff that's in the water reduces the ability of the water to hold different things that you don't want in your body. So once your water gets all the way full, it can't take on any more particles. So that's why having 0 parts per million water is awesome for you, because it has a great ability to hold all the stuff that you want to get out of your body. I hope this helps you guys figure out what kind of water you should drink. And one last tip is that we usually don't drink enough water. If your lips are chapped, then you're probably not drinking enough water. That's something I've noticed with my family and myself, that if you notice your lips are chapped, especially if they're starting to hurt, you're definitely not drinking enough water. So a lot of people say you should drink up to 1 gallon a day of water. So you should probably try and drink more water and make sure that it's distilled or 0 parts per million. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe to my videos if you like videos like this. I'll be talking about more things regarding health. Next thing I want to go into, I believe, is sprouts. Can't wait to tell you guys more about sprouts. There's different sprouts that have different attributes, and I want to go into all the different types of sprouts and what each one of them can do for you. But just in general, the goodness sprouts can bring to your life. Anyway, thank you.